Hey, closet busters and bold move makers. It is time once again for Life Uncloseted. So I want you to gather around because it is time once again to kick down those closet doors of your life. We're here to escape our BS, explore our fears, and elevate our self-expression. I'm your host, Rick Clemons. I'm the bold move expert and that coming out guy who's going to take you to the party, the pulpit, the wake, and back to the party of living your life uncloseted. So come on along with me and grab hold of yourself and get ready to step out, step up, and step into facing your fears, making your bold moves, and living life without apologies. Now let's get to the show. Hey, Life Uncloseted family. It is time once again for Life Uncloseted, the podcast. I'm your host, Rick Clemons, and today I am flying solo. Yes, it's just me. I'm so excited. And I'm really excited to talk about a subject that is close to my own heart. It's something that I have been working with to uncloset myself from for years, and I continue to work on it, and that is to uncloset myself from toxicity. No, I'm not taking toxic drugs. No, I'm not drinking toxic things. Well, it depends on how you look at it. I am a big wine drinker. I don't see that as toxic. I do drink coffee, which could be considered toxic by some people. What I'm talking about, though, is releasing myself from toxic situations, toxic relationships, toxic beliefs, just anything like toxic that doesn't do me any good. And I have a relationship with someone who is toxic, but yet it's someone that I'm related to that I'm actually trying to figure out how do I work through this at this stage. It has been almost a year since I've had a real conversation with this person. I had a brief conversation with them in the middle of the summer, and it was okay, but because I haven't had the relationship with this person in almost a year, my life has been really good. I felt less stress and less anxiety. And then suddenly they entered my life again this past weekend. And it was the tone of their voicemail. And I know this is a trigger for me because they know how to play the victim, and then it triggers me. And what I realized in this moment was this is part of my closet. I let the triggers keep me in the closet. Instead of me just going, okay, this is how they showed up, I choose not to show up that manner with them. In fact, Ilana Van Zandt, one of Oprah Winfrey's proteges, I love Ilana, catch her on her shows on the Oprah Network, but Ilana Van Zandt, I listened to her a few weeks ago and she said something on her on the podcast with Oprah about her marriages and meeting people in love. And she goes, I realized after my third marriage that I finally had to say, this is how you do love. I can't meet you in that same way in love. So I'm going to move on and meet someone in love in the way that I can meet them in love. And I know I said love a lot of times there, but basically the gist is you don't have to meet people in the way they need you to meet them. You can move on. And I'm realizing from this toxic relationship that I can move on. I'm still not sure how I'm going to open the doorway back up because there's one side of Rick that could go, here's how we're going to play the game. And we're going to play it this way. And this is the only way I can be in that relationship. Another side of Rick could be open the door because I want to, which is something I'm trying to figure out is if I really want to open that toxic doorway and learn in my own personal growth to not let the triggers get to me and not let what they say bother me, but to also stand up for myself when necessary. And what I find so interesting when I look at all of us who have been in a toxic relationship, or we find ourselves in a toxic situation like a work relationship or a work situation or just the place we work that's really toxic, or maybe we find ourselves in some really crazy toxic beliefs in our own minds, or even weird little projects that we get pulled into that are kind of toxic, is that a lot of times we allow ourselves to go into these spaces simply because we feel like we must. We feel some strange sense of obligation. And as soon as you feel that sense of obligation, that is another piece of the closet. That is another reason you can't get your hands on that closet door and pull it open and get out of it. is because you feel like you're obligated to stay in this toxic craziness just to please someone else. Just to please someone else. And as I thought about this situation with this person over the weekend, I started feeling like if I stepped back into it, it would just be to please them and others when I don't really want to. I want to be a good guy. I want to be someone who takes the upper road, as Michelle Obama would say, when they go low, we go high. I'm really trying to go high in this situation. And yet I know each time I've gone high, I get hurt. But here's what I realized. I allow myself to get hurt. I allow myself to let the hurt come alive. And as a coming out coach and working with hundreds and hundreds of people through all sorts of coming out journeys, especially the sexuality journey, but even those who are like, I'm leaving a relationship, I'm quitting this job, I want to start my own business, I'm scared to death, but I'm going to go become an entrepreneur. We allow the hurt to happen, which we don't have to. Nobody says, here's hurt, take a drink of this and it's great. It's all bullshit. But yet we do this, and sometimes we do it consciously and sometimes we do it unconsciously. And I know I'm speaking from my own truth that this weekend I was drinking from the cup of hurt consciously and subconsciously, even to the point that I had the craziest dream last night about this whole thing. And I thought, why am I allowing this toxicity to show up? And as I was thinking through that this morning when I woke up from this nightmare of a dream, which woke up about 3:30 this morning, I thought, oh, okay, I have got to let this go. I've got to come out of this closet of this toxic relationship, and I need to stand in my personal power and move through this. And trust me, many of us are about to go into these toxic spaces in the next couple of months. We are halfway through November, which means the holidays, at least here in the U.S., Thanksgiving is just around the corner. Christmas is coming up. Kwanzaa, all those other holidays are just around the corner. And they could become very toxic. Very, very, very toxic. Unless you choose to do something about it. And I know I'm forgetting my Jewish friends' holiday. I'm sitting here and going, I can't think of the name of the holiday around this time of year. But you know what it is. Hanukkah. There it is. It came forward. See, when you're 56 years old, sometimes you got to like fire up the stokes of the brain and go, okay, I know I'm thinking, I know I'm processing, but whatever that holiday is that you're going to celebrate, realize that for many of us, these are going to take us into toxic situations, but only if we allow ourselves to move into the toxic situation. So as I was laying in bed, I thought, okay, what are the things I need to ask myself? Number one, why am I here? Why am I here allowing myself to be in this toxic situation? Number two, what good is it doing me? Now, sometimes the good could be it's teaching me lessons. Other times there is no good. It's causing me stress. It's causing me to pop Tums like a crazy man. It's causing me to not sleep. But here's the interesting thing. Once I realized I was starting to address this, I actually slept really, really, really well until I woke up from the crazy dream. And even after I laid here and went through, okay, well, asking myself some of these questions, it was less than 20 minutes. I was back asleep, which tells me I am in the space of really owning this and holding on to it. The other question you could ask yourself is, how would your life be different? How would your life be different if you didn't allow the toxicity to come in and take control and own who and where you are in this situation with this person, in those beliefs, in this project? I mean, think of the holidays as a project. I see them as a big project. Now, I love the holidays, but I'm to the space where I only want the holidays to be what I want them to be. I don't need to go crazy extravagant. And that's part of my own changing my beliefs so that I didn't feel the holidays became toxic. They're going to become toxic in their own way if I let them come alive. The next question you can also ask is, who can I lean into for support when I'm feeling like I'm in a toxic space? Whether it's a toxic work situation, toxic relationship, friendship, whatever it might be, who can you lean into? Start finding your support systems. And where can you better expend your energy rather than being in a toxic space? I'm going to run through those questions one more time because this is kind of the crux of today's podcast, is giving you these tools to go, screw the toxic shit. I want you to screw the toxic shit, and I want you to start owning that you don't have to be in a toxic space. I want you to put your hand on that closet door. That closet door of saying, I am not worthy to be anything but in this toxic relationship or in this toxic work environment or in this toxic friendship, or to have these toxic beliefs, or to be doing this toxic thing that really, really does not bring me joy. Thank you, Marie Kondo. If it doesn't bring you joy, it's probably something toxic. So think about what it is as you are in your daily life that you want to take that hand on that closet door of toxicity and say, I'm opening and I'm coming out of toxicity. By asking yourself, why am I here? Or how did I get to this space? What good is it doing me? How would my life be different if I wasn't here? Who can I lean into for support? And where can I better spend my energy than in this toxic space? Because here's the bottom line. Everybody's got closets. Every one of us has a closet of something, but there's no reason to sit in a closet of toxicity and believe this is as good as we deserve, because we all deserve better. And most of the time, the toxicity is because we allow ourselves to stay there. We allow ourselves to believe we are obliged to be there, when in reality, it's one little step forward, one hand on the door, and opening that door to say, I am worth more than being in a toxic space. And I'm going to invite you to share wherever you would like to. I would love to hear it on the comments in the show on my page. So I'm going to invite you to share your thoughts on this. Come to the website, leave a comment, hop on my Facebook pages and leave comments. Go to my professional page on Facebook. Let us know what your toxic thing is that you're letting go. I know some of you won't want to do that. In fact, maybe most of you won't want to do it because you don't want people going, oh my God, how weird are they? You're not weird. You're normal. You have a toxicity closet that needs to be opened, and you need to walk through it. So that's it, everybody. Have a great rest of your week, and never stop stepping out, stepping up, and stepping into living your life uncloseted by dumping your excuses, facing your fears, and living life without apologies. Hey, Life Uncloseted family. Another episode of Life Uncloseted has come to an end, and it is time for all of us to sashay away and go face our fears, make those bold moves, and stand up to living our life without apologies. But before you do, I've got a favor to ask of you. Would you hop over to iTunes or Spotify or Podbean or wherever it is that you're listening to this and just give us a little bit of love if you like what we're doing here at Life Uncloseted. Here's what it does. It helps other people find the show. It helps other people get to know what we're all about. And you just might help change a life. In fact, if you really want to change a life, we'd love it if you just ask a friend to take a listen and see what they think. So that's it. Love you all deeply. I'm Rick Clemons, the host of Life Uncloseted, and never stop stepping out, stepping up, and stepping into living your life uncloseted.